Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the McGonagall Boxing Podcast. Let's get straight down to it. So the big news is Pacquiao Spence is off. And I don't want to sound cynical because he's got a bad injury, Spence. He's got detached retina in his left eye. That's no joke. Fighters, look at Kell Brook, detached retina. Rarely the same after injuries like that. That's how serious it is. You're looking, Brook had a year out. You're looking minimum 6 months out. Spence is probably going to have 8 months out with this now. And he's already been out for a year and a half. It's not good. He's, 32, 33 years old? The last 4 years have been a complete wipeout, really, since Kell Brook. I mean, he was riding the crest of the wave. He was the next big thing. He was fighting regularly. And he's earned that money. And he's slowly but surely self-destructed. Whether you like it or not. Now, of course, no one wishes in the injuries he's had. He had an horrific car injury back in 2018. But, let's have it right. It was self-induced. He had to go, thank goodness he made a recovery. Is he fully recovered from that? I don't think he is. He doesn't look right as far as I'm concerned. No one will ever be 100%. Maybe he's 85% and he's passed all the tests the boxing board's given him. But he can't possibly be what he was with an injury after like that, even mentally. But, the police wanted to speak to him after that. And they did. He was over the limit. There was alcohol in his system. Now, that tells me, if you're doing that when you're driving, what are you doing when you're at home? What are you doing at parties? He's not lived the life, has he? I don't care what anyone says. When you drink, drive and have accidents like that, look at John Jones in UFC. He hasn't lived a life and it's cost him years, cost him millions. Same with Spence. You just have to look at Spence's Instagram. He's out here, he's out there. He's, hanging around with rappers, party goers. He's not living the life. Yes, he's got a young family now. You'd think that might slow him down. But it's not, hasn't it? It hasn't, has it? And if we get his record up, I'm just going to get Spence's record up because it's interesting. I think you'll find over the last 4 years he's fought maybe three times. And it's such a shame because, let's be honest, after the Garcia fight, the world was his oyster. He's been tipped as the potential pound for pound great, and it just hasn't happened. So let's go back. So yes, we fought Danny Garcia. Let's be honest, in 2020, Garcia's been a busted flush for a long time. That was more of and they know each other very well. They're good friends outside the ring. Let's not get this twisted. So that, I feel, was more of a tune-up fight. And it was a solid performance. He won majority of rounds. But it was a points win. Sean Porter was a split decision. Which was, and let's be honest, Porter, not the fighter he was. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, he gave a good account of himself, but he wasn't the danger man that fought Kell Brook back in 2014. That was a split decision. That was 2019. Forgive me. Before that, you're looking at Mikey Garcia in March 2019. So that, for me, was the standout performance. Although, obviously, Mikey Garcia was never really going to win that fight. No one tipped Mikey Garcia to win that fight. He was coming up from lightweight, jumping up 2 divisions, first time fighting a welterweight, outsized. But that was a class performance from Spence. That was the end of the real Spence, as far as I'm concerned. Before that, he was almost a year out. He fought Ocampo. I mean, you shouldn't have been in the ring with him in the first place. Lamont Peterson, that was January 2018, and Kell Brook. Yeah, so really you're going back March 2019 to see the real old Spence. And he survived an absolute war against an over-the-hill Sean Porter. Dangerous, but over the hill. You're talking prime Porter was 2014, 15 as far as I'm concerned. And then You know, he's beaten an over-the-hill Danny Garcia, who'd lost numerous times before that, and that was a points decision winning back in December. So, you know, he's fought 4 times since the Kell Brook fight. You know, and he's fought, you know, with all due respect, Lamont Peterson over the hill. Ocampo shouldn't be in the ring with him. Garcia, a lightweight. Porter, good fighter, but, you know, past his best. And Danny Garcia past his best. He hasn't fought anyone, I would say, of elite quality. Like, you know, a Crawford or an up and coming, even Furman back, you know, 3 years ago. So the fighter's always going to win. But the big story is he hasn't been active enough, I don't think, in them 4 years, in his prime years. That's what I'm saying, his prime years. You know, he's fighting once a year. You know, and that's not good enough. And, you know, he's just not lived the life. He's got a drinks problem. And, you know, until he owns that, then it's never going to get his full potential. But will he be? I mean, quite rightly, you know, he needs to sort that out. I still look at his Instagram, looking at reports, hearing reports. There's still an issue there with his drink. Looking at his Instagram, you can tell there's still party issues there. This detached retina, I don't know how it's happened. Clearly, it's you know, people are saying it's a spar. You know, I don't want to be cynical and say, was he ready? But, you know, I'm not seeing many photos of him, you know, before a huge fight. Maybe he wanted to keep it secretive, but generally, fighters want to pose and flex, show how hard work they're training and how busy they are. I didn't see any of that, apart from maybe one picture. So, was it a good camp? Is he trying to buy time? Is his injury legit? I'm sure it is. But, you know, these questions get asked about Spence now, which they never would have done. You know, has he been living the life? Because Pacquiao's 42. Spence, again, should be favourite. Again, he's fighting a fighter over the hill. But Pacquiao's Pacquiao. You know, he's still dangerous. So he hasn't been living the life. He's got everything to lose in his fight, Spence, including his world title, including the big money fight against Crawford, the proper fight that we all want to see. But for me, Spence no way beats Crawford anymore. No chance. I mean, like I say, I don't think he's the Spence since March of 2018. And I think Crawford's still very much Crawford. Crawford lives the life. He's getting better. He's serious. He's proper. He's active. Spence isn't. And that's the big difference. So Crawford could even stop Spence as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if you saw how much Garcia was landing on him at times, Porter landed on him at times, what's Crawford going to do to him? So don't tell me that Spence is the best welterweight in the world, because I simply won't have that. But you got the young lions coming up as well. You know, even the Conor Benns of this world, you know, will soon start seeing Spence as, you know, what's he doing? Is he living the life? You know, they're hungry. They're lions. They want it. So, you know, it's a long road back. He's going to be out for another 8 months. Before you know it, he's out the ring 2 years. You know, that's when temptations happen. That's when drink issues resurface. That's when, you know, stress comes in. You know, he's got a young family now as well. Like I said, how much does Spence want it? Because I'm not hearing what I want to hear from him. Even in a press conference, he looks sedated. He looks subdued even against Pacquiao. And you see him, don't you, attending fights. He looks bloated in between fights these days. He doesn't look like he's lived a life. He doesn't look fighting shape. Whereas, like, you know, Floyd always looked in shape, whether or not he had a fight coming up or not. Spence doesn't. You can see his face, the way his weight balloons up. That's a clear sign he hasn't been living a life. Like a Hatton. And as you get older, like Ricky Hatton, it catches up with you. And I think that's going to happen with Spence. Now, Spence can do it all in a boxing ring. He's a very talented fighter. He can fight orthodox, he can fight southpaw, he can fight on the front foot, and he can fight on the back foot. He can set traps, he's smart. But he's inactive. And that's the biggest killer of all of great fighters. And I don't call Spence great, by the way. I thought he's a very good fighter, but I thought Kell Brook gave him everything he could handle. So did Sean Porter. I think Crawford beats him. I think Crawford is potentially a great fighter. I don't put Spence in that category yet. But all I know is the fight is off with Pacquiao. He's going to be out the ring for at least 6 months. It's, you know, the clock's ticking with Spence. You know, I wish him a speedy recovery. This is a serious injury, a detached retina. You know, that's going to require surgery. That's going to require a lot of work and healing. And again, the mental scars coming back from that after a car crash, a severe car crash where he was comatose. He's recovering from that. Now he's got recovery from this. The mental scars are sometimes harder than the physical scars. This is what I'm talking about. So, like I say, he's got a lot of work to be done. He needs a strong corner. He doesn't need yes men or hangers on or party boys around him anymore. He needs focus. He needs rest. He needs to heal up, and he needs to get back on the horse like he did pre-Kell Brook, where he's fighting regularly, actively, and he was hungry, and he was calling out all these names. That's the Spence that we need. Will we get it back? I'm not sure anymore. I'm really not sure. It's a shame about the Pacquiao fight. I'm not sure that happens anymore. The Crawford fight could still happen, but does he have a chance against Crawford? I don't think so. Call me sinister, call me cynical, but I think the glory days of Errol Spence are over.